Greetings, folks. It's a serious topic, isn't it? Can peace on earth ever exist? War after war after war. People killing people, killing people, killing people. Can it ever be stopped? Sadly, it cannot. This world was not created by God. Possibly you've read or you've heard in these topics of healing aspirations the fact that God did not create this world, had nothing to do with God. That we, in a desire to be gods ourselves and to be the top of the heap, had to create a circumstance in which we denied the existence of God. God created us to have every bit of what God is, except that God could not give us the fact that God was the original creator and couldn't make us that. And if you look inside yourself and you look at your life, you may notice that God is not the primary source that you're aware of. That we go through our daily life largely unaware that God exists, that God is us, that we are gods, that God created us that way, that God made the blunt statement, there is but one truth, ye are gods and ye are loved. We don't feel that we are gods and we don't feel loved. And we don't feel that the other person is God and that we love them. That is not part of the human existence. The human existence is flawed. The minute we decided to go think ourselves about what we would like, we blotted out God as the primary source of us, and we came up with a very different source, that we're bodies, and that this world of time and of space and of material is the world. And therefore, it is a world of needing to survive, because the human body doesn't live forever. The human body is an animal and is very, very concerned about surviving. Well, we do not set up a world which deals meaningfully with this issue. This is a world of competition. It is a world of seeing others as threats to our survival. It is a world in which we do not share. It is a world in which we do not care to create circumstances in which all are entitled and we deliver love and care to them while they're still in this human state. It doesn't exist in this human condition, and therefore it is the curse of the worldly existence that there is going to be constant aggression, a constant needing to defeat the other person who is seen as a threat to us, when actually we have never been able to establish a civilization in which divine values are the essence of it. We left that in experimenting with being bodies. We left it when we wanted to be centered in what we feel is the creator in ourself. And thus we even look upon our parents as the ones who created us, when they didn't create our souls. All they did was give us bodies in this playground of bodily being. That's all that it is. But in our warped way of trying to come up with an independent creation, and since God gave us the ability to create anything that we wanted, just as God created us when He wanted to, and created us as His beloved children, we in turn can create anything that we want. We're co-creators, and we co-created something in which we are the center, the godly being. And we have our own definitions of success, and what's right, and what's good, etc. And they are not godly, and they create civilizations in which deprivation and suffering, uncaring, giving the right for people who are sick, for instance, to have care, being sure that we have a distribution and a production of food that could feed everybody on this earth when there are solutions to this kind of thing. Avoiding the destruction of our planet in order to make enough money to live above all the rest of us. And so we warp the environment and destroy it for the money-making activities of power and the money-making activities of all things required for life, and use them for profit, because that's what makes profit, not a fair sharing. It doesn't happen, and it can't, because the human must protect the survival of his body and be sure that the body lives as long as necessary and has no awareness, no proof, and that's needed, of eternal life. And until that proof is shown to them, they will continue to try to make a world in which we're top dogs. You can see it in the political world, the inability to compromise, the wish, even as political power is gained, to use it for their own advantage rather than for that of the people, because we are unable and unaware to even think of the ways of sharing and caring and loving, because we look upon it as a loss to ourselves. Well, they get something, we ain't got it. That's what our civilizations are based on. And so, since they're out to be able to overpower us and control us, they've got to be killed. They are the enemy. And so here we are, very busily killing off godly beings who can't recognize themselves as that way in order to get rid of them. That's this world. This is why there cannot be world peace. Well, that's the bad news. Is there good news that can be attached to it? Is there some way that we can come together with the fact that there is no safe way to exist in this world? There is no safe way for people to live with each other, because everybody is the enemy. They're out to get more than us. Oh, we'll make a minimum wage. Go make that minimum wage in which you're capable of being able to survive. You get sick. Go make a world in which everybody is capable of receiving care for when they're sick. This world does not think that way. It can't get that way, because we are survival-oriented, the survival of the fittest, the most powerful. Even when we talk about personal relationships, power comes into it. This is where you see the uneven relationships between men and women, as men use their seeming power in order to force upon women what they feel it's all about. Even in these ways, the world goes on, everybody taking advantage of each other in order to be able to feel safe. And the concept of loving is not there. The concept of living to be able to help others is not there in the human state. It doesn't exist in the human state. It's to do the other one in, or keep the other one in control in some way, and at their disadvantage, so that we can live. Sadly, is there peace able to be existent in the world? It can't. Not possible. Is there an answer to it then for ourselves, to what we live for? The answer is yes. And we'll move into the second part of this as we proceed.